All right, ladies and gentlemen. I say, where did we stop yesterday? Talk to me. Yeah. Were you here yesterday? Okay. Huh? Always here. I love that. Okay. Promotional ideas best suited for small businesses. Right? Small businesses. Promotional ideas. Right. What are we talking about here? Right? You see, when you got a business, you need to promote it. Right? I told you you must get out. You must reach out to your target audience. Right. Whatever way you do it, you must make sure that you do it properly. Right? Some people advertise on radio, some people advertise on TV, right? Some people advertise on newspapers, right? But these days it's very easy, right? We got social media, TikTok, Instagram, what else? Facebook, right? For a small business that doesn't have much resources, then you look for a medium whereby you can be able to advertise that doesn't cost a lot of money. Then you can use a signage. You know what is a signage? Signage. When you were coming to the college, you saw the signboard there, West Coast College, right? Some companies they rely on signage for you to know where the location of the business is. You can use a signage. Then you can advertise. There are various ways or various medium that can be utilized. Print, right? And radio ad, right? Trade or specialist publications. There are certain publications relating to different trades. For example, artisans, carpentries, right? Depends on the type of business you are doing. Flyers. We were making use of flyers those days. You know flyers. Flyers. Don't cheap flyer. Now you hungry. Huh? No, we used to have make a short advertisement, then put it on paper, you cut it into small pieces, right? Then you give out to people. We used to have something like that. Then the brochure, right? Like a catalog. Then you have a business card. How many of you have seen a business card here before? Business card. You know a business card. Jonga, how many of you have seen this before? Yeah. So what can you find in a business card? Huh? Yeah, you can get the name of the person, the holder. Then you got the portfolio, right? What I mean by portfolio is the general manager. You say Dr. D. Oh, you must write a full name. Don't say only Dr. D. Say Dr. Richard Douglas. Then you say the general manager, the portfolio. Then the address and the contact number will be there, right? Business card. Have you seen a business card before? Do I have a copy of a business card here? I don't think so, right? Okay. Then publicity. What do you mean by publicity? Words of mouth. If you are doing well, publicity is different from public relations. There is a difference between publicity and public relations. What is the difference? Public relation, you pay somebody to go and say that you are good, your business is good, right? You can hire somebody, right? That person that you could hire is called a public relation officer, right? That person is going out to portray the good image of the organization. But publicity is different. Publicity, right, depends when you got a good publicity, it means that you are doing well. So it's people, the way people look at your business, the image that your business portray to people. That is where publicity is coming from, right? If for you to have a good publicity, you must make sure that you are doing a good business, you treating your customers well, your products are good, your services are good. Then through words of mouth, right? And some other means, people will be talking good about your business. For example, if I'm a good teacher, I don't need to pay somebody to or hire someone to go and tell people that I'm a good teacher. Right? Yourself could see, hey, this guy is really trying. You see, the good stuff I'm doing, then the news will be spreading. For example, now I'm doing this stuff, right? I think some of you now are going to tell other people, hey man, that guy, if you go to his class, we are on air. You see, we got video recording, even if we are not here, we can have access to his teaching, right? And we can as well anywhere, anytime, which is good. You understand? So publicity is being derived from how you, or good or bad publicity, depends on how you behave, right? It reflects the image, right, that you portray in the eyes of the beholders, right? Mind you, you are on air, eh? One guy. Yeah, empty file. You see, you are on air, eh? But why that you give me 5? No, it's all right. It's all right. Go and use it. It's all right. You see, the question, the color is not the problem. All right. Yeah. Okay. Community fairs. Hello. Hello. Community fair. You know how this one works. For example, if you go to places like PAL, I've seen this in the PAL. Somerset West, the farmers, right? They bring in their product certain time of the month. Different people they come to sell. You know, yeah, that is what we call community fair, right? It can be regarded as community fair. Then fete is like a feast, a festival, an exhibition. Fete. This one is derived from the word, is from French. This is a French language. Fete. It's more or less like festival, feast, right? Then exhibition. Exhibition, it works like this. It's a kind of event, right? Whereby businesses they bring their product to showcase to people. It's an event that is organized. Then in that event, people are invited to come to the event. So you as a business owner, you go there with your business, you got your own stand. Then as the visitors are passing, they can come to your stand, then you explain to them what you can offer. Or you can showcase your product to them. Right. That is what we refer to as exhibition. Right. So when you go to Cape Town, you know CTICC. CTICC. Who knows CTICC? You've been there. Right. Every time there's always an exhibition. One of these days, when you're on holiday, try to go there. You will see that there might be exhibition at that point in time. Then you participate. You don't pay money. You walk in there, then you see different companies with different products. They've got their own stand. Then you pass through, they explain to you what they are offering. I've been there. Last 2 years I was there. When there was an international exhibition, there were a lot of companies from all over the world, from China, from Germany, from all over the world, and I attended. It was very nice. Right. So that is another way that you can use to promote your business because those companies they participated in the exhibition not for fun, is to promote their business and they pay. Because those companies they pay the organizer of the exhibition, like an event. Imagine people coming all the way from China to come and showcase their product here. Is it a joke? It's not a joke. There were expenses that they incurred. So they were here to make sure that they are able to showcase their product. Even at that point in time, there was one of the companies that was having a kind of negotiation with, but the thing didn't click. Maybe because I didn't have the means, or they look at me as somebody that got no money. All those kind of stuff. Because they like to deal with people that got money, right? Are you still with me? Okay. Now you need to, for you to do your promotion, to promote your product, right? Through marketing. Marketing is not something that you can just wake up one day and go out to start marketing. You need to plan it, right? Anything you want to do in life, you need to plan in terms of how are you going to do it and when are you going to do it. You need to strategize. Hello, you need to strategize, right? So, what is a marketing plan? A marketing plan describes your potential market, right? Potential market. Then describe your target market, right? Remember your business plan, right? One of the components of a business plan is a marketing plan, right? So these are the things that you need to consider when you are formulating your business plan, specifically as it relates to marketing plan. Then you need to describe your niche market. Niche. Have you ever heard about this language before? Niche. Niche market. Huh? Yes, I will explain. I love that. Guys, listen. Listen. I will first of all start explaining it in Kosa. Then I will explain it in the other language. Don't worry. You're going to understand. When we say small, right? Small markets within a bigger market, right? You become a small, listen, focus. A small player in a bigger market. For example, listen, Jonga, Keki, look here. Okay. For example, in the fashion industry, right? You got Woolworth, right? You got Truworth and all those big retail outlets, right? Yeah. You see, you got Malcolm, whatever. Okay. We think that that one is it's a big market. Right. Now you have hello. Now within that big market, you got a designer that is designing for celebrities. Celebrities. So that designer is operating within what we call a niche market in the fashion industry. For example, somebody that was making dresses for Madiba, that was making, you see, Madiba used to have a nice customized wares, right? Someone that was doing that was operating in a niche market, but it's still within the fashion industry. Do you understand what I mean? Right. Like all these celebrities, most of these celebrities, I can say majority of these celebrities, when they want to buy clothes, they don't go to the shop like Woolworth, Truworth to buy their wares. No, they got a special designer, and they pay them good money. So those designers are operating within a niche market. Do you understand what I mean? That is what I'm talking about, right? It's a niche market. For example, remember that I show you a video of this man, the Bokana emir, the emir of Sultan. Was it Sultan? That guy said there was a video I showed you whereby I told you that the guy that is cutting that man's hair is in UK. They fly him from UK to go and cut the guy's hair. I didn't show you that video. Okay, don't worry. We shall come to that. Maybe one of these days I will show it to you. So that person is operating in a niche market within a beauty industry, right? Do you understand what is a niche market now? Hello, do you understand what is a niche? Okay. Now you must describe a promotion strategy, how you intend to promote your product, right? For example, advertising, personal selling, and all those type of stuff. Then you provide a marketing or promotion budget. There must be a budget attached to it because anything you want to do, if there is no money involved, it become what we call like a pipe dream. Pipe dream. Something that you wish, but it's not going to be realized because there is no money. There must be a budget, marketing budget. Right. Bayakut. So design a customer service plan to grow your business. These are the steps. There is something that I need to show you. Something we call ADA. Yes, this is when you are designing an advertisement. This one is very important for you to understand, to know, right? Designing an advertisement. You know what is an advertisement, right? We talked about flyers just now, right? Didn't we? Yeah, social media. When you are advertising on social media, there are certain things you need to put into consideration. You need to put all these things into consideration, not only on social media. If you want to advertise on radio, on TV, anything of advertisement, right? You must consider this. They say a good advertisement should follow the following. A good advertisement should follow the AIDA principle. AIDA. Sometimes it comes out in the exam. They will ask you what is AIDA to explain, right? So AIDA means A means attention. The way you design your advertisement, right, should be able to captivate the mindset of people. When they look and say, what is this? I'm interested. Right. To captivate, to capture, to create that desire. Attract God. Did you see? When you see an advertisement, it's different from, for example, now, Jonga, when you see an advertisement, it's different from this type of presentation. It's different because the language you will use, even the heading, you're gonna be, you need to make it to be in contrast, to be able to attract people. For example, I remember those days when I had a business, right? I started a business and there was no customer, no one. Then I asked myself, listen, what can I do now to be able to create an impact for people to know that there is a kind of business operating within the community? Guys, you know what I did? You know what I did? I look for a signpost, right? I put a kind of a good advertisement there that was characterized, I mean, with this principle. The heading there, I say, bargain galore. You know what we mean by bargain galore? How many of you have seen that thing before? Younger. I'm giving you a good example of an advertisement, right? That is captivating. Check most of these advertisements. Look, I wrote like this. I say bargain, right? Galore, right? I say PC for sale, 200 rand. Huh? Did you see? But can you see what I'm writing? Okay. Then you have to put the contact at the address. You see, with this bargain galore, when people see what type of stuff is this, do you understand? So from there, it's creating attention, right? Now I say PC for say 200 rand. Now people, this 200 rand for computer. You see, it started arousing people's interest. I want to see, right? Where can somebody get a PC for sale? Do you understand what I mean? So what we are trying to say is your advertisement should be able to attract people's interest, attract people's attention, then and be able to arouse their interest and create desire for them to take action. A good looking advertisement. Do you understand what I mean? Right. That is what we are talking here. So sometimes they can ask me in the exam to design a kind of advertisement that is aligned with this ADA principle. So you should be able to do that, like what I'm saying, right? ADA means A means attention, I means interest, D means desire, and then action, right? Okay. And actually, that advertisement worked for me like a bomb. People were coming in to my shop. Say, where is it? You say you got a computer for say 200 rand. They I say, actually, there is a computer for 200 rand, but you need to upgrade it. Did you see? I say, actually, there is a computer for 200 rand, but you need to upgrade it. How do you upgrade computer? How were we upgrading computer by then? You need to increase the memory, the hard drive. You know what I'm talking about, right? You need to increase the memory, then change the hard drive, those type of stuff. Now, as they were walking around, because that one attracted them to come to my shop, it created that awareness that there's a computer parts here. Right. So then they will be looking at my display on the shelf, flash drive. Then they will be asking me, "Ah, you selling flash drive here too?" I say, "Yes." "How much is it?" I say, 100 rand. I say, "Wow." At that point in time, a flash drive, 1 gig was 160, no, 260 rand at incredible condition. But mine, I was selling it 100 rand. They said, "No, give me this. That is good. It's a good price." Did you see? Use that system by that to create awareness. Then people started coming to my shop. Right? That is what I'm trying to explain to you. Right. So what is the time now? How many minutes left? Can we continue? Oh, good, good, good. Okay, listen. With that, we can cover this. All right. Design a customer service plan to grow your business, right? How do you design a customer service plan? Right. There you need to know the value. You know what is customer service plan? Or what is customer service? You need to, guys, listen. You need to be able to make your customers happy. Do you understand what I mean? In the first place, you must make sure that you provide a quality service, quality product, right? Whenever customers got complaints, they come to you, you should be able to resolve the problems whenever there are complaints, right? And you should make sure that you don't talk lies to customers, don't deceive customers, right? Whatever you know that the product can do, you explain it rightly. Don't try to deceive and make sure that you uphold the values, good values, virtue of yourself and of the business. So for you to be able to do that, you must first of all consider the value, right? Say what can be used to describe our values and qualities. Your organizations or your business must have their own values that they subscribe to, right? Then, for example, reliability or friendliness, honesty, or being enthusiastic, right? Those things must be known. The expectation about the customers. You need to be aware or abreast of the expectations about the customers or from the customer. What does the market review about what the customer wants? You need to know what the customer wants. Do we want the quality? Do we want the quality that they expect? That you must make sure that you are able to satisfy that need. Right. Then responsible person in the business to deal with customers. You must put somebody there that will be able to deal with customers. Right. Because you see, a cust someone that is dealing with customer is like somebody that is in the front line, right? You know what? Someone in the front line. Any person that is coming, the first person that will meet is the customer. So if the customer service representative, so if somebody that is dealing with the customer doesn't have those customer friendliness, reliability, and whatever, what is going to happen? Your customers, they will not be happy. And once you make your customer unhappy, I'm telling you, there's not gonna come back to you again. Not only themselves, you know what is gonna happen? They will go and tell other customers, say, don't go to that business, right? That business doesn't have a good customer service. So you need to be very careful in terms of who you put in the front line to deal with customers. Right. Hello. How many minutes remaining? Okay, so this is what we were saying. Who will deal with the customers? Who is in your business will be responsible for sales and for communicating with the customer. Right. Then speculation on possible trading. For example, if you have somebody that is working in the customer service, uh, if that person doesn't have the necessary skills to be able to deal with the customer, so what you need to do, you need to send that person out for training in order to bridge that gap. That is what we are trying to say as far as this step 4 is concerned. Right. Is training necessary? Does the person or people who will deal with the client need any training to meet the needs of the customer? These are the questions that you need to pose to yourself in order for you to know the next line of action or the way forward in terms of having a capacitated customer service representative. Then technical training may be required where the employer needs to give advice or expertise is required. You see, you are the front line of representing the business, or someone that is at the front line of representing the business must know about the business very well, right? You cannot allow a blind person to lead or to be at the front line of the business. What I mean by blind person, I'm not saying that person is physically blind, somebody that doesn't know much about the business. Right. For example, remember, I don't know whether it was this class I informed you, I explained to you that there was a time I went to buy something from it. Which shop was it? I think it was it not Game, one of these shops. Then I was interested in this particular product. So the salesperson could not able to explain to me how the product works. So based on that, I was reluctant to buy it. But you see, so if the salesperson was able to explain to me articulately, perhaps I could have buy that and they could have make a sale. So that is what we are talking about. Then after sales service, you know what is after sales service? I explained to you the other day, right? After sales service is the kind of service that you render to customers or clients, after the deals have been struck. So you want to, it's a kind of a follow up to see or to establish if that customer or client is still happy, right? Sometimes you can make a phone call to follow up. Are you still happy with that product? Is there any problem? Something of that nature. I gave a simple example the other day. I don't know whether it was in this class. For example, if you've gone to do your hair, like you, hello, you got a business of, pedicure and manicure, right? You see, if yourself wants to incorporate this aspect into your business, which is very good after sales service, you can sometimes give them a call to ask them, that nail that I did for you the other day, are you still happy with it? You know, all those type of stuff. You know, they will be happy next time. They will like to come back to you because they know that you do care for them. You know, that kind of service is what we call a after sales service, right? For example, we can also talk about guarantee, right? What I say you must do is we call it courtesy call, right? Then we have something like guarantee. You know, people like to buy products that got what kind of warranty, right? If that kind of warranty is there, then people will be rest assured that the quality is good. Like the other day, I went to buy a pens, a black pens. I was asking the guys there, I said, can you give me a guarantee that this pens is not gonna wash? You see all those kind of stuff. So you need to factor all this type of dynamics into your customer service, and the customers they will be happy to buy and come back to you. Because the most important thing is business. It's not only you selling to customers, right? Having customers, you must make sure that you are able to retain customers, right? They patronize you today and they come back again and they keep on coming back. That one is very important. Not the ones that act like scavengers. Scavengers, they come once and they go away, they're not gonna come back. So you must make sure you put all necessary uh, system in place to make sure you are able to attract and then retain your customers. Right. So is the period over now? I see you giving me a signal. All right. So we're gonna stop here.